Welcome back. Slain Lashkar-e-Taiba's commander Abu Dujana has now been replaced by another LeT Commander Abu Ismail as the head of the LeT in Jammu and Kashmir. Abu Ismail, remember, is the mastermind of the deadly Amarnath Yatra attack last month that left 7 pilgrims dead. Meanwhile, the Jammu and Kashmir police had approached the Pakistan High Commission in New Delhi asking them to take the body of Abu Dujana, who was killed in an encounter in Pulwama in Kashmir yesterday because Dujana belonged to Gilgit-Baltistan area of Pakistan Occupied Kashmir, but Pakistan has refused to accept his body. Well, so Pakistan once again refusing to accept the body of a terrorist killed in an encounter here in India, in a sense once again denying its role in export of terror to India. Of course, that stand not coming as a surprise, given that Pakistan has always denied its role in export of terror to India, no matter how much evidence it may be presented with. On this occasion too, Pakistan, in an attempt to deny its role in carrying out any terror attacks in Jammu and Kashmir, choosing not to accept the body of Abu Dujana, who was the top Lashkar-e-Taiba commander operating in Jammu and Kashmir for the last several years. He was one of the most wanted terrorists in India, and his killing in yesterday's encounter in the Pulwama district of Kashmir has come as a major success for the security forces. As we said, he's now been replaced by Abu Ismail, the mastermind of the Amarnath Yatra terror attacks, as the chief of the Lashkar-e-Taiba in Jammu and Kashmir. Arish Bilal joins us on the phone line at this point. Arish, as we mentioned earlier, it really doesn't come as a surprise that Pakistan has yet again denied its role in fomenting terror in Jammu and Kashmir, and therefore is refusing to even accept Dujana's body or the fact that this man was a Pakistani national.
Well, this is on the expected lines because Pakistan has never admitted its involvement in the militarily in the Kashmir affairs, and if they go ahead with accepting the body of Abu Dujana, then their involvement is going to be established. So Pakistan won't like to do so. So this is one of the reasons that Pakistan won't like to take the body of Abu Dujana.
Right, and also the Jammu and Kashmir police, Arish, approaching the Pakistan High Commission, asking them to take the body, and of course, predictably, the Pakistan High Commission refusing to do so. But would it be correct to say that this is for the first time in many years that the Jammu and Kashmir police have made such a move of formally approaching the Pakistan High Commission and asking them to take the body of a killed militant, even though there have been several terrorists killed in the past, and many of them, in fact, were Pakistani nationals? General B.D. Shekatkal, defense expert, joining us on the phone line for a reaction to that development. Sir, as we've been discussing, this really doesn't come as any surprise. Pakistan's refusal once again to accept its role in fomenting terror in India, and therefore its refusal to accept Abu Dujana's body. Okay, at this point, Pakistani journalist Arsan Bhatti joins us on the phone line. Mr. Bhatti, while we do understand that Pakistan never wants to accept that it is actually fomenting terror in India, but this man was a Pakistani national. It is very well known that he hailed from Gilgit-Baltistan, which is in Pakistan Occupied Kashmir, and now that he has been killed on the Indian side of Kashmir, Indian authorities are offering to hand over his body to your country, and your country is refusing to accept it.
Look, terrorist is terrorist. It has no country, he or she. He has no geographical boundaries living in whatever he or she belongs to. Pakistan would not accept any terrorist living or dead. This is one thing to be sure. Pakistan, India, what was offering India or what offered India to Pakistan, that doesn't matter. The thing is, Pakistan would not and will not accept anybody, any terrorist in its soil. This is full stop.
Mr. Bhatti, it's convenient for you to say that a terrorist has no nationality and therefore Pakistan will never accept the body of a terrorist. But you have to at least acknowledge the fact that these terrorists are coming from your country. They get training in your country, often even from the army and the ISI. Even in the case of Ajmal Kasab, the man who became the face of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, you refuse to ever accept that he was a Pakistani national. My point is, Mr. Bhatti, that Pakistan can go on issuing denial after denial and continue to accept the bodies of its nationals. But, that is not going to fool either India or the world as far as Pakistan's role in fomenting terror is concerned. So, I don't know what Pakistan is trying to achieve.
Look, how much time is needed to make a fake ID, make a fake passport, make a fake nationality? It will take hardly 1 day, 2 days, or maybe 3 days. I'm not saying that Pakistan why not Pakistan is accepting the body. That in the past, Pakistan always accepted all the persons who belong to Pakistan. This is a terrorist. He is a terrorist. Pakistan has nothing to do with terrorists. Pakistan never exported any terrorism.
Well, it's convenient for you to say that, Mr. Bhatti, but I don't think anybody in the world will buy those claims by Pakistanis. Stay with us, Mr. Bhatti. We'll come back to you in just a moment. At this point, I'm also joined on the phone line by Major General G.D. Bakshi and Lieutenant General Shekhatkar. General Bakshi, if I could come to you first. Not surprising, sir, Pakistan's refusal to accept the body of a terrorist who belonged to that country. But, we have a Pakistani friend on the phone line saying, well, Pakistan has never exported terror, therefore, why should we accept his body? The point is, sir, they can go on issuing these denials and they can go on refusing to accept the bodies of their terrorists. But that is not going to fool the world.
The matter is, this is a country that refused to accept the dead bodies of its Northern Light Infantry Regiment troopers who had fought quite bravely, I thought, in the Kargil war.
During the Kargil war,
for a very
correct.
cause, of course. But when they were killed, we wanted to pay them the last respect. We paid them the last respect as is due to any departed soldier. And then we wanted to hand over the bodies to the Pakistan army. They refused to accept them back. They're soldiers. Here you are talking of the terrorist minions. They have slipped across the border under the cover of the fire of the Pakistani army. Quite obviously, Ajmal Amir Qasem, who reported to the world that he was the Pakistani Geo TV channel. They plastered it all over the world. They spoke to his mother, and it was found out that all 10 of them were Pakistanis. Thank God we had caught Ajmal Amir Qasem alive, and Kumble, that very brave cop paid with his life to get him alive.
Yes.
Otherwise, they were passing it all off as Hindu terror, And then, of course, they are the people, Pakistan, which kept Osama bin Laden in his country for 6 years in a comfortable mansion next 800 meters from the Pakistani military academy, Kakul. And when the Americans killed him there, they feigned total ignorance. यहाँ से right leg.
Sir, you're absolutely right, because fact of the matter is this is a predictable and standard Pakistani response: denial, refusal, or to accept any charge whatsoever. But sir, my question to you is simply this: who are they trying to fool? Because clearly neither India nor the rest of the international community is fooled by Pakistan's denials.
You know, Pakistan's lies have caught up with that state finally. Nobody trusts them, nobody believes them, including the Chinese, who are now wanting to station 30,000 of their own troops to protect the Gilgit-Baltistan corridor and the Gwadar port. They are stationing their own troops because they just do not trust these slimy customers. They are the most slimy customers that you could get anywhere in the world. It's a country that lies through its teeth. It is a country that is habituated to telling falsehoods and fabrications. And the American Senate is now sick and tired. They have refused to certify the American State Department that Pakistan is not helping the Haqqani group, is not creating all the mayhem in Afghanistan. Every single neighbor of Pakistan, whether it is Afghanistan, whether it is Iran, whether it is India, is sick and tired. In the last year, the SAARC summit, the home ministers of Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, apart from those of Afghanistan and India, simply refused to go to Pakistan, a country that lies through its teeth, a country that destabilizes all its neighbors.
Very good point, sir. Very good point. Even Pakistan's so-called all-weather friend now growing increasingly suspicious of that country. There isn't one neighbor that can trust Pakistan. Thanks so much, General Bakshi, for sharing your views with us. Let me also go across to Lieutenant General Shekhatkar at this point. Sir, you heard what General Bakshi there said. Here's a country that refused to accept that Ajmal Kasab was a Pakistani national, despite the fact that the man was caught with a smoking gun in his hand, quite literally. And here's a country that refused to accept its own army soldiers and their dead bodies during the Kargil war, and therefore doesn't come as any surprise that they're refusing to accept the body of Abu Dujana.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. Of course, General Bakshi just mentioned the reasons why it is so. You ask a point, and that is where I would like to pick up. Whom are they trying to fool? They are trying to fool everybody, but they are fooling themselves. Let me be very clear. I had very detailed discussion with some of my Chinese counterpart and negotiators, and I used to discuss with them about India boundary. They don't trust Pakistan at all. In fact, the adjectives, the languages they use, I can't repeat on your channel. It will be unbecoming of my part to comment. Same, this is the first army in the world, the only nation in the world which refused to accept the dead bodies of their own soldiers. I was commanding the entire eastern frontier in that time when the Kargil war was going on. And our young officers were working. They refused. Can you name any country anywhere in the world? This is the message I hope the people of Pakistan and the Pakistan army themselves must accept, must learn. Tomorrow, same thing will happen to them. Let me be very clear about it. If the dead person is from Punjab, Pakistan, they can't hide it. So slowly they'll delay and they accept the dead bodies. They don't accept the dead bodies, but they accept the fact because they have to pay the thing there, Punjab, Pakistan. But if the same soldier happen to be from Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, anywhere else, they don't even recognize.
Absolutely, sir. You're absolutely right in saying there isn't one other country in the world which would not even honor its dead soldiers. Pakistan is one country that has gone even to that extent, which has stooped that low. General Shekhatkar, thanks so much for sharing your views with us. Mr. Arslan Bhatti, if you're still with us on the phone line, you heard what our Indian guest there said on the phone line. Forget about accepting the bodies of terrorists emanating from your country, hailing from your country. You are a country that stoops so low as to refuse to accept the dead bodies of your own army soldiers who had fought valiantly for you, for your country during the Kargil war. There is no other country in the world that would not even offer a little bit of dignity to their own dead soldiers.
ओके अभी केले लाने दो लम्बे लम्बे जे 367
Mr. Bhatti, can you hear me? Mr. Bhatti, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sir, my question, I don't know if you were able to hear my question. I was saying, you heard probably what our Indian guest just said. You know, what they said is really, really telling. There's no other country in the world that would dishonor its own soldiers who fought for that country in a war by refusing to accept their dead bodies. Pakistan stooped to that level during the Kargil war. That is shameful. No other country in the world has ever done that except Pakistan.
Number one, we are not discussing Kargil war here, but I can answer your question in line that Pakistan never ever rejected anybody which belonged to Pakistan and that is Pakistani national, number one. In case of Mr. what you said his name, I don't know don't listen to the name, but Pakistan always accepted, Pakistan was very much against the terrorism in any kind, in any part of the world. In Kargil war, you were particularly mentioning that Pakistan left their soldiers' body. Pakistan never left their soldiers' body. Soldiers, Pakistan Army is the honor of Pakistanis. Every Pakistani always respects.
Well, I wish you had actually done that. I wish you had actually honored the memory of your soldiers, but you did not, Arslan Bhatti. Your denials does not change the fact that you did not extend that honor to your own dead soldiers. Thanks very much, Mr. Bhatti, for joining us on that story. Let's now listen into some more reactions we've got on this story.
What do you have to say about this? As per procedure, when the security forces kill a terrorist, the body is first handed over to the police, who perhaps organize a post-mortem of it, and then it is handed over to the members of the family where it belongs. Dujana was a Pakistani. He belonged to Gilgit area of POK. So rightly they are handing it over to the High Commission. Their reaction is still awaited. But if we look at the background, in Kargil, when their army was involved, their dead bodies they had refused to even acknowledge. So it is unlikely that they will acknowledge that Abu Dujana is a Pakistani and they will disclaim the body. When they did not own up their own soldiers, regular soldiers of the army, Northern Light Infantry, it is very unlikely that they will accept that Dujana was a Pakistani and he was involved in terror attacks inside the valley. That's my fear.
So as you said that in Kargil also they didn't accept it that they were soldiers. So it is very likely to get a reaction from them that Dujana was a Pakistani. But so do you think it's a big setback for them as our forces